born. And the other thing is they all have very, very small and very underdeveloped young. Okay, now wombat's one of the larger marsupials when they're born, and they're born the size of a jelly bean. Okay, and to describe what they look like, they sort of look like just that, a jelly bean with sort of stumps at the front. So that's what they use to claw their way up to mum's pouch. She'll take any opportunity to me doing that when I get half a chance. It's like she's dancing, isn't it? Hold in the marsupial world. First of all, they are the largest. You still certainly wouldn't classify her as intelligent by any means. No marsupials are particularly intelligent. However, what you'd say with a wombat is that their instincts are just so strong, and I think that must come back to brain size a little bit. They're certainly the most instinctual animal that I've ever worked with. In terms of proof of that is just the fact that you can raise a wombat from just a little pink thing without any fur, without any eyesight, and they just know how to be a wombat. You don't have to teach them anything. So everything from burrowing in, say, 40 kilometres an hour, so very, very fast. And look, to put that into perspective, which is just such an amazing change from this to that. So it's great that they do that. Successful because they also have no predators in Tassie, no natural predators. So I just want you to notice a couple of things. There's this pathetic excuse for a thumb. But it's something that's a really, really good clue to her evolution, which we'll have a look at the wombat. And there's something else I think is really funny, is that a wombat's actually got a tail. You just can't see it on a fully grown wombat. That's what good girl. Give that a thumb.
Interesting size.
Yeah, as she grows, it'll be the full width of her body when she sits upright. So that's it. Look out of a wombat. This is Thumper. Alright. There you go, you can see it. Shoelaces. Nice spaghetti, isn't it? There we go. Most expensive thing about this job is shoelaces. Alright, so Big Bella here, she should be released into a soft enclosure sometime next week. It's just about to unleash, I think. Closure. That's recommended for most animals, just to sort of integrate them into the wild a little bit. So what we do is we give them an enclosure that they can come and go as they please. We leave something common to them, like
It's a baby one.
in the pouch rather than in the stomach or in the word. There, lots of that hissing, and this screeching, screaming noise that sounds like someone's being killed, to be honest. And when they get to each other though, what I want you to notice, we don't encourage squabbling, but what we want you to notice if you see it on TV is that when they get to each other, they mouth each other and they don't bite each other. Okay? It's a big fat show is all it is. Best way to describe it is whoever's loudest and ugliest is going to get the best piece of meat. Now that's the way that they go about their business. It is just all a big fluffy episode more than anything else. It is a big fluffy episode more than anything else. However, puncture wounds are very, very common. Those big incisors, and also ripped lips are a very common one, which makes them look very, very war-torn, despite the fact that those injuries are generally accidental. Now the second thing, the smelly and dirty thing, they've got this incredible cleaning procedure. Usually after they've had a feed, then they can't make out what it is. So that's something you need as a hunter as well. And the other thing is you need some sort of skills to be able to sneak up on something, like agility as well, to sneak up on something, then pounce on something, like you've seen a cat doing before. This guy trying to sneak up on something does a lap of the commander and thinks you're not going to see it. They don't have any sort of skills when it comes to sneaking up either. So look, the be-all and end-all is, no matter how hard they try, they're going to catch very easily. Okay, now if they do, what I'm going to try to do with Molly Boy here, I'm going to sneak over that way a bit and throw a bit of meat in the middle. He's got a habit of grabbing his meat and running right down the back. But if he doesn't eat in front of it, Fat Maggie will sit wherever she gets food and have a snack. When they grab hold, they don't go in a hurry. If I drag him this way, you might come running back. world. This boy here is actually the smallest grown marsupial in the world relative to size. That truck will hopefully set him off on a vocalisation. See how he goes. Now just in terms of their intelligence, they've actually only got a brain the size of a walnut. Sleeped on. And the last thing he could have done, I guess, was to move a little bit less, to save a bit of energy. He only moves for 5 minutes a day, so that's actually not an option either, really. So he's like my little brother, really. But the big boy here is, you should have seen last night, that's why I say it, it's so lazy, you know, with anything. Alright, so just in terms of what he realised, I guess, is that all he does is eat and sleep. So why would you waste that? You still get by. So he saves a huge amount of energy by doing that. But yeah, there's not a lot for our boy out there. I will just mention the drug-like effects that a lot of people will tell you about as well, that they're actually drugs from the eucalyptus oil. I'm sure a few of you have heard that. Probably won't eat that bit. He's very, very fussy, very fussy. Now in terms of the drug-like effects, they actually don't have any effects whatsoever from the eucalyptus. I know they look like they do, they are on cloud 9 most of the time, but what that comes back to is a lack of energy. That's all it is. What he's got is two of those toxins for him. So the bacteria actually synthesises some of the toxins into protein, which is very, very advantageous for him, and then discards the rest. So for this boy, he does not process the toxins, meaning a drug-like effect is impossible. There's no way he can have a drug-like effect. It's cardboard, this stuff. I mean, if he eats 1.5 kilos to get 5 minutes of movement a day, you'd be exactly the same eating the stuff that he does. You're just literally about to nod off all the time, which is why he's so now when you're having a pat today, it's a bit hard to see his physical things. If you could see his foot, you'll see he's got a double toe that he uses as a comb. We should be able to borrow his hand there. You'll see the 2 thumbs, which is a very, very handy adaptation. Very, very handy adaptation for the chuck out the trees with that. And what goes hand in hand with that is a vocalisation, which, has anyone heard it? I wish you'd done it. It's really hard to describe. I describe it as a cross between a lion, a lawnmower and a pig. That's the only way I can describe it. You can hear it from nearly 1 kilometre away. It's this hideous, bellowing, growling sound. And again, it's just a territorial call. So do come and have a pat of our man. I'll just ask you to steer a bit clear of the head area. He gets a little bit love-bitey sometimes when you touch him near the head. He doesn't really like that. Scratching as well is a bit like an earthquake, so I'll just ask you not to scratch him, but look, a gentle feel here, not a problem at all. And you'll see, you come and stand like this and grab a photo. He won't hurt you at all. He really is a lovely toy. Thanks for supporting our park too. We are privately owned, so what keeps us here is you guys and no one else. So we really, really do appreciate you coming along and giving us some support. So have a pat and a photo with our boys so long, and I'll see you as you're wandering around. Yeah, no, but I imagine this is a fairly time procedure. But a lot of it's done in the trees, so that way they don't have to
the baby, so
You'd like to stroke him,
I'll bring him down after we've had a pat.
so the babies don't have to learn.